Welcome, troopers, back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing another YouTube video. For today's video, I was planning on doing a comparison. Now, I've only done a couple of comparisons, and one comparison, and the other comparison wasn't even on this channel. So today I wanted to do my second ever comparison video, and this is between two sets that are $70. That also come from this year. Sorry guys, I actually went into my table. But yeah. Anyway. So, we're going to just start it off now with the, well, actually, we're not, shall we do the figures? No, what are the figures? So, the first thing we're going to look at is our good old minifigures. So now, both sets luckily have 4 minifigures, so there's no advantage in terms of the amount of minifigures. So I'm going to look for, I'm going to more necessarily be looking for the quality of the minifigures. Now, both sets come with 2 named characters, 1 unnamed character, as well as a droid. Obviously, both sets are not created equal, so let's look at these guys. So first of all, which do I think is better minifigure-wise, or which do I think is better in terms of the droid? Now, picking between these two, it's not very hard because, I mean, it's K2SO, but I kind of want to explain why. So, looking at these two figures, this is a basic astromech droid. I'm not sure what the name is, but it's just a basic green astromech droid. We've gotten R2-D2 and others of the sort many times over already. Astromech droids are not very hard to find. However, K2SO is a different story. K2SO, at least this version, appears in only 2 sets right now. 2. So, currently, he is a pretty hard to get minifigure. And he's technically only in 1 set because the K2SO buildable figure hasn't necessarily released yet. Although it's about to come. So, that's a fly. Sorry, guys. Yeah, the K2SO figure is better. And also, it's the only other set he comes in is a $90 set, which is the buildable droid or K2SO figure. I think it's a good set. It's worth the price. However, I doubt everyone would want to pay for another full-on K2SO buildable figure just to get K2SO. So overall, I think K2SO here is the better option in terms of the droid minifigure. Now, looking at our other minifigures, would I rather personally have Cassian Andor, Dedra something. Sorry guys, I don't remember all these guys' names. I'm not exactly a big Star Wars Andor fan. I actually need to watch the show. I'll probably watch that maybe this weekend. But we have these 2 characters, as well as this basic Imperial Guard, I think it is, as well as Captain Jag, Oddball, and a regular clone pilot for our actual other set, which is the ARC-170. Now, which do I think is better here? Well, I'm going to have to give it to these guys. Now, I mean, if you're a Clone Wars fan, you're going to obviously prefer these guys. But looking at it from an objective view, I prefer these guys overall. These guys are literally copies of each other, except with a different helmet from an objective perspective. Yes, they're different characters. However, they're copies of each other, essentially. And while, yeah, you're going to want that in clones, I mean, it's so hard to really differentiate them if you didn't see the box 50 times over, like I did. So, yeah, or you didn't watch the show, of course. So, yeah, it's just the truth, and these guys are more unique overall. Also, with this guy, or with Dedra, we get a new hair mold, which is very nice to get. We almost never, or hair hat mold, we almost never get the Imperial cap with the hair, so it's definitely nice to get that extra piece, and if you want to use that on another custom Imperial officer minifigure, that's an option. As in Cassian's Cassian, and this guy is kind of like a reskin snowtrooper for the most part, except for that hat, and yeah, he at least has like the kind of basic design. But yeah, minifigure-wise, I prefer the U-Wing. Now, let's get into the actual sets. In regards to the actual sets, I do have my preferences here and there. So, we're going to start by talking with we're start off by talking with, or about, crud, I am so bad at saying words, the playability. That is not what I meant to do. I actually shot that in my nipple. Anyway, we're going to put those back. So, as you can tell, that's kind of easy to accidentally trigger if you're not careful. So, yeah. let's just talk about playability. So, the U-Wing is the first set we're going to talk about playability-wise. So, in terms of playability, we have a couple features. First of all, we have the wings that can fold back like this, and you can put it in attack mode. Pretty nice overall. We also have the spring-loaded shooters, which you could shoot off using this little button right here, as well as you have the ability to open up the cockpit here, or at least kind of open it up. You can press on this button on the back here, and you can finish opening it up, and you put one minifigure in there. Not much space, but there's enough for the pilot. So yeah, and then you can just close these back up whenever you want to use them. My big problem here is that you can't simultaneously open them, but that's going to be hard to achieve on this without making a humongous mechanism in the back that makes this thing like $80. So it's just unfortunate. It's just kind of the truth about it. So yeah, and then we have the cargo bay, which doesn't really have much. Let's be honest here. All that's really inside is this crate here, as well as seating arrangements for a singular minifig, and barely that even. So, I mean, you can fit up to 2 minifigures in there if you take out the crate. But besides that, it's kind of an atrocious, atrocious cargo bay. But I'll get into that when I talk about minifigure space. So, yeah. Do I think this set's playability is great? Not really. The set has an atrocious cargo bay, and the spring-loaded shooters are spring-loaded shooters. I think this is a neat feature. However, I literally just do this to open it up. It's literally as easy as just pulling that part up, so that's not needed at all. So, and then this is kind of annoying to do when you're trying to if you want to get into flight mode or attack mode seamlessly, you kind of have to flick it back like this. Wait, not even like that. You kind of have to do that. It's the closest thing. You kind of have to balance it on your hands, then kind of flip them out. That one would have gone a little bit further if the ARC-170 wasn't there. But as you can tell, it's not necessarily great when it comes to actually getting the wings open. So now we're going to go into the playability of the ARC-170. So the ARC-170, this set is much better, and I'm going to talk about why, or at least playability wise. So first of all, we have some nice feature on the back here, which is this. If you push this way, that closes the little winglets. So don't mind that. That piece kind of falls off sometimes. That's something I will take from the set, though. I'll probably talk about that in stability issues and stability and how easy it is to break. But if you push it that way, that way, the winglets close, and if you push it this way, the winglets open. And notice how seamless that is? If you just you can close them like that, open them, close them, open them. When I originally got this set, I did have problems because I actually forgot to put a piece in there, so the whole mechanism was ruined, and I can only open up one side at a time. But I managed to get that fixed pretty easily. So yeah, that's pretty good. We also got some spring-loaded shoes on the side here. These are easier to accidentally shoot off than the U-Wing because there's no mechanism there. You can just accidentally, like, if you grab it like this, you're just gonna like that. I didn't even mean to do that. I wasn't even trying to do an example there. I was just trying to show you how I pick it up. Someone could accidentally pick it up and then shoot them off, or not accidentally pick them up and accidentally shoot them off. I'm trying to get the stupid bolt with my foot. So yeah, like I said, you can easily shoot them off, but that's not a big problem. You also have these things on the back, which are pretty nice. I think that them being on a ball joint really helps them overall. You can kind of have them go over there, and this one also moves around pretty nice and well. You can have it go pretty far down. So yeah, pretty nice set playability wise. We also got the cockpits, but I'll talk about that in minifigure space. So yeah, let's actually get into the stickers. So, the U-Wing. Let's talk about the stickers on the U-Wing. Now, in regards to the U-Wing, we have quite a few stickers. I'm not sure if it's as much as the ARC-170. I'd actually have to count that. But, so, starting off, go with the stickers. Sticker here, sticker here, sticker here, sticker here. And then, I think there's a sticker in here somewhere. Nope, there's not. I think is this panel sticker? Yes, I believe that is a sticker as well. I don't know where that fell off from. Alright, so yeah, there's a few stickers. This is a print, which is nice. And this is why this set's actually better sticker-wise than the ARC-170, which I will actually go into now. So, the ARC-170. It has a horrible sticker problem. Now, you may have already been able to spot most of the stickers here. You got this guy here, which are these little logos. So one here, and then one here, and you also got another 2 on the bottom. I'm surprised those are all stickers. I feel like those could have been prints, because these are, funnily enough, prints, which I don't know. I don't know why they could have just whatever. I guess this is a sticker. I cannot say words. This is a sticker. This is a sticker. This is a sticker, this is a sticker, and these are stickers. Now, this is the biggest problem I have with this set. The size, I don't care about. I actually prefer the smaller sizes overall, because more I cannot deal with this horrible shelf space as some of the older sets. So, yeah, I definitely prefer some of the smaller sets. It depends, I guess. The U-Wing is kind of annoying with the smallness, but we'll go into that with minifigure space. So, yeah, these are all stickers. I don't like that at all. Now the control panels in the cockpits are all prints, but let's be honest here. The elephant in the room is that these stickers are horrible. These are supposed to be white, mind you. These are all supposed to be the exact same color as this. So I'm not seeing anything here. I didn't mean for that to fall off. But you can see where I'm coming from with the sticker problem. So yeah, we're gonna give that to the U-Wing. So that makes it for currently the U-Wing is winning at 2, and then the ARC-170 has 1 point. So yeah, anywhere we're going to get into the space. So with minifigure space, I want to test, can you put every minifigure in the set? Now this set here, you can put a minifigure in here. So we're just gonna start off here. Grab Cassian, who is the pilot. So just put him in there like that. And that's 1 minifigure accounted for already. Nice. Now, if we go in the cargo bay, we're going to start encountering problems. Don't mind that. I did not mean to press down with my fingernail. So, we're just going to take this out here. Like that. And we're going to grab... Actually, we're going to grab these 2 because they're actual minifigures. K2SO can't sit down, so we're going to grab them. So, you can... As you could tell, there's barely any space. And... this thing is so low down that it's impossible to get in there. Come on. See? Like, this is what I mean. You kind of have to position them in a certain... No, actually, I think that's physically impossible. So, you literally can only fit 2 minifigures in there. I mean, if you, like, take off their hat, I bet you can probably maybe squeeze 3 in there if you have them as, like... if you take off their hair or hat or whatever they're wearing... But as you can tell, it's a tough fit with even 2 minifigures, so that's atrocious. So, yeah, going into that, a set that has 4 minifigures that can only barely fit 2 minifigures, and K2SO is the only other minifigure, I guess that applies to the arm. But here's the thing. The difference between this set and the ARC-170, this set is supposed to be able to hold about 12 troopers, I believe, in cannon in this area. And look at that. The original U-Wing, which I actually, funnily enough, owned... I think it could hold up to 4, maybe 5. So this is a humongous downgrade, especially for only a $10 decrease from what it was originally back in 2017 or 2016. So minifigure space, you already can see who is going to win, but we're going to go into the ARC-170 anyway. So the ARC-170, how much figures can you physically fit in this? So you can fit 1 minifigure in this first cockpit here. So you can fit Captain Jag, who is my go-to for this part. So just chuck him in there, nice in there, not gonna fall out. And then next figure I want to put in is the astromech droid, because he goes in between these 2 spaces here. And then you can put Oddball in this area. Technically, you could put whatever figure in whatever space you want. You could buy 3 copies of this and then have 1 ship just be this guy here or something like that if you want. So we're just gonna chuck this guy in here as well. So, you can fit all the minifigures, all 4 minifigures. I mean, this is kind of slightly, I'm not sure what's wrong with that. But you can fit every single minifigure in this set within the build, which is good, because that's 4 spots for every single minifigure total. This set has more space to put figures in than the U-Wing. So... I definitely think that's a humongous problem, because this is not supposed to be a carrier ship. This is just a basic, like, X-Wing type ship, your basic, like, dogfighter type ship. However, the U-Wing is a carrier, sort of like the gunship. It's a smaller scale gunship, of course, but it's still a gunship type thing that can carry stuff. So, do I think that this thing that the U-Wing has horrible space for minifigures? Yes, I just do not like the fact they can only fit one minifigure, two. You can squeeze two in there, definitely. You can probably squeeze three, but that's the thing is that you can probably not guaranteed. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that part. So we're going to go into the last category, which is the tiebreaker, and that will be stability. So stability-wise, let's go into this. So this not gonna fall off. This not gonna fall off. Okay, good. We're off to a good start. This not falling off. Not falling off. Good. Drop test. Wait, where'd that come from? Oh, wait. Yeah. Okay, so one piece fell off so far. Okay, guys, those were those were the spring-loaded shooters. I think the force that the drop produced onto the U-Wing actually just shot them out themselves. That's fine though. Whatever. We're just gonna put those back anyway. Before they shoot off. Well, okay, we're gonna just real quickly put those back. I'll probably never find that one again, but that's fine. I have no problem with that. I have like plenty. So as you can tell, that part's the biggest problem. But let's be honest, if you don't have the bolts in there, which you're probably not gonna have them in there, you're not gonna have too big of a problem there. So yeah, this is a stable set. A child, only one part really fell off. One part of the thing fell off total when I was smacking it around. So let's test the ARC-170. So, ARC-170, let's actually start this off. Funnily enough, this thing gave me a reason to actually add stability to this, or how much integrity it has. Look at that. That falls off way too easy. What? Wow. This thing had a lot more stability issues than I thought it had. Oh. Mind you, I'm just shaking this around violently. If I just start dropping it. Okay, it's fine now, but as you could tell, it didn't do great in those first few hits. And so yeah, we're gonna have to give that point to the U-Wing. Now, what is the verdict here? Which set should you buy for your $70 worth of monies? Oh, actually, that looks like that was about to fall off too before I stopped. So yeah. So which one should you buy for your money? Well, the U-Wing. The U-Wing has the better overall stability, as you just saw there. It has the better minifigure selection, and it has the better stickers, so you don't have to worry about placing stickers. Now, do I think you should avoid the ARC-170? No, it's overall cheaper on Amazon and other sites right now. But if I were to pick it up at retail price, like let's say at the Lego store, because they almost never offer things for discounts there, I would pick up the U-Wing because, I mean, it's the better set for $70. It's the better set for your price. Now, I'm not going to say you can't buy the ARC-170. I'm also not going to say that you have to buy the U-Wing, because the U-Wing is an optional set. All these are optional sets. If you want this over this, and even if you're more convinced now that you want the ARC-170, that's fine. You can buy whatever you want. But looking from an objective perspective, the U-Wing is the better set, although the space issues are a humongous problem, and that would probably make this one. Here's the thing. If I were choosing from a non-objective perspective and looking at this from the perspective of someone who is biased, I would pick the ARC-170. I'm more attached to the Clone Wars. The space on this thing is horrendous. All that type of stuff. However, from an objective perspective, I'm looking at the U-Wing to buy first if I were to buy one of these two sets. So, that'll be it for the video. I will see you guys later. Bye.